Mr. Chairman, I'm very grateful for this hearing. I was a mayor for 8 years of an inner city, and I had no time for philosophy besides reading, and I had the practicality of having to balance budgets and deliver services. I often talk to my Republican friends who I worked in partnership with during my time and said there was no government leader that cut government more than I did. Cut 25% of my workforce while I was there. No government in New Jersey. The state, 21 counties, 566 municipalities. I partnered with big banks like Goldman Sachs and unions to bring about Newark, New Jersey's biggest economic development boom in 60 years, bringing in billions and billions of dollars in development, new hotels, jobs, and the like. I'm a pragmatist, a fierce pragmatist. And what is outrageous to me is people who want to preach the free market, but what they're really defending is a perversion of the free market, like at colossal costs. We all know there's things called negative externalities when it comes to business. And the challenge we have right now is we're allowing businesses and corporations to pass on cost to society. This government spends billions and billions of dollars. This committee, Brownsfield cleanup, Superfund cleanup, the billions of dollars. I applied for these grants from government to clean up the costs of businesses who did not assume their costs. I have one of the most polluted rivers in America, in the Passaic River, that we just approved billions of dollars to clean up the negative externalities of corporations that have, in a sense, going to philosophy, are poisoning the commons. The get all you can, pursue what you want philosophy is clearly destroying the commons in our country. And this, Pastor, which you so eloquently write about in your testimony, is the agony that I see every single day, that in a global knowledge-based economy, the most valuable natural resource any country has is not gas or oil or coal. It is the genius of our children. We are squandering that natural resource in ways that are greater than the oil spill in the Gulf Coast or any spill off the coast of California. The number one reason my kids miss school, the number one reason my children in Newark, Camden, Passaic, Patterson miss school is because of the environmental toxins that cause them illnesses and ailments, which are corporations outsourcing onto them, ranging from asthma to lead paint poisoning. I now have a city where nature has been so corrupted where I live, and I tell you right now, 100 senators, I don't know anyone that goes back to their home in a census tract that's in poverty. And so my community can't dig in their soil because it's poisoned with lead. We have to use planters above because of negative externalities from corporations. We can't fish in our water. All the clams, all the fish, taken away. Can't breathe the air because of toxins in the air are causing epidemic asthma rates. What happens to a people that have been divorced from nature because of these negative externalities? The costs are clear. We can measure this data in terms of what it means to have lost productivity of children. Millions and millions of lost school days and work days because of these environmental toxins. And so I believe in the free market, but what we have right now is a perversion of that market. And what we are doing, what we can't measure, is the lost genius of our children. Now, I know Memphis. My brother lives in Memphis. Ain't that much different than Newark.
Use that for an excuse.
And what is tragic to me is that the children of your city and my city, there's just as much genius there as in our wealthiest communities.
Well, if you,
That lost potential,
I've got things to
that lost productivity, that lost artistry because of this philosophy that is a perversion of the free market.
Take 1 minute.
It's insulting to me that we are letting these costs consistently be passed on. We are not a nation of individual, rugged individualism. Rugged individualism didn't get us to the moon. It didn't map the human genome. It is our genius cooperation and partnership one to another. I know in our Declaration of Independence, we recognize this interdependency, this need for each other when we talk about pledging to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Sacred honor.
If you would,
So, Pastor, in the 10 seconds I have left,
we could do 2 minutes.
I just, God bless you
Try. It's-
for advocating for true free market capitalism. Because the value of the children in your city, the environmental impact, what is it doing to the most precious resource God has ever created? Not coal in the ground, not gas released by fracking, the most valuable natural resource, what has it done?
It is damaging whole communities of people. And I believe that as we read our holy books, the reality is that community is the beginning of formation and how we are formed not only in the home, but how we are formed in the extended community itself. And when we find individuals who are dying of cancer too early, when we are looking at matriarchs, patriarchs of families who are struggling with what it means to work and come home and develop all kinds of sicknesses and illnesses, it deals with not only the psyche of parents of children and how they raise them, but it also deals with the fabric of whole families, and we're struggling with what that means. It is not just the issue of the physical illnesses, but also what it does to a person mentally who cannot work, who cannot provide for their families, who are finding themselves struggling with energy and having sustaining energy in their own lives to be able to go to work every day and come home. This has a devastating effect upon whole populations of people, but more importantly, it has a devastating effect upon families. And when we talk about building family life and the life of the United States of America, one of the realities is when parents come home sick, when they come home struggling, when they can't work, and then when their children can't go to school and they are poor and don't have the levels of assistance to either take care of those family members or those children, it puts a whole cycle of people in poverty and they remain there.
Thank you, sir.